Thanks for staying with Morning Edition. The business of content and the advancement of regional telecommunications is on the agenda for the upcoming conference. An upcoming conference called, what's it called?
Business of Content.
The Business of Content. With us in the studio this morning is Atiba Phillips. Welcome.
Thank you
From
so much.
Infocom Technologies Limited. And you're hosting this conference together with CANTO, the Caribbean Association of National Telecommunication Organizations. What's it all about, the business of content, e-content?
Well, Felipe, as you know, most Caribbean countries are waking up to the realization that ICT is, a key pillar of the attempt to diversify economies. They need to grapple with this whole digital economy thing and integrate into the world system. And we, as a region, have, moved in towards the proliferation of things like broadband and cell phones and computers and so on. But what happens after we've connected on that level? I mean, what we interact with, generally speaking, right now is foreign content out of the US, content out of the UK, etc. We need to start to build a dynamic here in the region and benefit from the economy of the internet, because people pay for content. That's why you get an internet connection, because you want to deal with something that's already there.
But let me ask you this. Okay, so ICT is information and communications technologies.
Correct.
We have infrastructure, we have access to infrastructure.
Right.
But what you're saying is that we are almost overwhelmed by foreign content.
Absolutely.
What incentives are being proposed or being introduced to produce good quality local content that will not only satisfy our viewers, our listeners, our internet surfers who have become almost addicted to foreign content in terms of a certain style, a certain look and feel, and even to look at beginning to export our content?
Well, let me just back up a little bit and give you some context. This particular it's a competition and a conference. And it comes out of a larger rubric called the Connect the Caribbean initiative. And my company, Infocom Technologies, was brought on along with CANTO to give a framework for how we would do that. What would that look like in the context of the Caribbean? This is a IT World Initiative.
Okay, so the International Telecommunications Union is sponsoring this initiative.
Well, IT is part of the UN, and there's a global compact to get the unconnected connected by 2015. So the Caribbean's response is championed by CANTO in this case. And we got together and asked, well, what would that mean for the Caribbean? So on one level, it's telecommunications, connectivity. We need to do some more of that in the region. But on another level, connecting the Caribbean means more than that. It means sharing who we are with each other and identity and the content so each country and each community needs to create and be able to share with each other what their aspirations are, what their struggles are, what their opportunities are on the business side, for example, and so that we can be more connected with each other. We know what's happening in Chile, with the miners and so on, but we don't really know what's happening in St. Vincent. Why was there a referendum there last year? We don't know the fact that St. Martin the Dutch side of St. Martin just got independence from Holland. Yeah. So we as a Caribbean community are not really connected in that sense. And technology, we feel, gives the most immediate functional opportunity for the Caribbean to be connected.
So tell us a little bit about the competition itself. What are the parameters? Who can participate?
Right. It's open to pretty much anyone. It's again looking at how would we generate this in the region. We thought about doing sort of a landscape study. Who's doing what, at what level of quality, what's the capacity that they have, all of that sort of stuff. And that would have required going all up and down the region, knocking on doors and so on. So what we've done is said, we're going to have a competition. We're going to go around the region, announce the competition. We're going to put a bunch of prize money up and cause people to come to us, basically.
But what kind of content are you looking for?
So the content categories, there are about 9 of them. It's government and so e-government, e-business type content. There's tourism, music and entertainment, agriculture, even health. There are others, other types of content like that. So we have, and it's also based on a global competition called the WSA competition.
What is that?
That's a global World Summit of Information Society competition that rewards e-content and m-content, mobile content applications around the world.
So are you looking at applications, or are you looking at the actual content?
Well,
because
both.
applications are what enable the devices you use like your BlackBerry or your laptop, or even the television program. These are all.
So
what are the programs, the facilities that enable the content to be delivered, and then there's the actual content, whether it's animation, dealing with entertainment, music.
So it's both. So from the way that we look at it, content, as you say, it's the what the person is going to interact with, but the application is the rules and so on around it that allow it to govern how you access it and how you interact with it and so on. So it's both, yeah. And so we know that there's a lot of talent around the region. We know that I'm personally aware of, there's a particular guy in St. Vincent who's has no music background, but he's done a very impressive program that helps people learn how to play drum sets, which include the pan, for example. Yeah, and he's done it in a way that you can plug in other instruments, the guitar and the piano and whatever. It's a brilliant application, but he has nowhere to go with it right now. You know, we have a lot of these folks who work on stuff, even at the corporate level, but I'll say at the individual level, work on stuff, and between them and their computer, they believe they're bright, but there's no forum, there's no ecosystem within which to plug in and cause their brilliance to be, plugged into a value chain. So we're getting the telecom companies to become aware of what's happening out there and start to create a dynamic.
So this is a marriage that has finally come where the telecommunications carriers who control the infrastructure are looking at sourcing content to be able to speak to each other and hopefully speak to the rest of the world with a Caribbean voice.
Correct.
But give us